union money, you're spending members' dues on political advertising. But there's a whole wide range of things that unions do spend money on that have nothing to do with collective bargaining, that they spend their money on. And what I'm suggesting here, or what I'm proposing, would do away with that. So this is not anti-union, because I'm not pro-union, I'm not anti-union. I'm pro-freedom, which means that I feel very strongly that if people want to unionize, they should be allowed to unionize. And there is a compelling logic to the RAND formula that says, even if you're not a member of the union, you still benefit directly from the collective bargaining of the union. And therefore, it does make a certain amount of sense. I know that not a lot of people are comfortable with it, but there is a logic. It's not an invalid point of view to say that even if you're not a member of the union, because you benefit directly from the activities of the union, you ought to be contributing to those activities. But again, ladies and gentlemen, that only applies, or ought to only apply, to activities that are related to collective bargaining. So if you're talking about using compulsory union dues for anything other than collective bargaining, well, then I actually don't think the RAND formula fits. Now, there's a difference of opinion on that. I don't think the RAND formula applies, I should say. There's a difference of opinion on that. I get it, but that's my take. But going back to what the Ford government is proposing to do, they are suggesting that they're going to push through their legislation and they're going to get around the question of its constitutionality by invoking the notwithstanding clause, section 33 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Whether I agree with that or not, or whether you agree with that or not, to our listeners, is an interesting question, but I guess that just raises the bigger question. If you're prepared to invoke the notwithstanding clause in this case, then why not just go whole hog and invoke the notwithstanding clause to protect legislation that's aimed at giving union workers a certain amount of protection with respect to how their funds are being spent? I don't think that's such a bad thing. So that's just my take on it. I don't know what else to say except to look at the clock and go, oh, wow, that segment has passed pretty quickly. All right, well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for our last break, so stay tuned. If you're listening online, great. If you're listening not online, but you're listening on the regular radio, stay with us as well. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Nick and Joe Show on the Think Radio Broadcast Network.